Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Predictions with PCJ. I am your friend and host, as always, the Pop Culture Junkie. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're talking about this Sunday's WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view or network special, live on the WWE Network and possibly on pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't keep track anymore if they have pay-per-view. I don't have cable, so I don't know. But we're talking about Hell in a Cell. Not a match, the pay-per-view, because we have to name the pay-per-view after a match now. When are we going to get Last Man Standing match turned into a pay-per-view and just have every match Last Man Standing? Or Duchess of Queensberry match, name it as a pay-per-view. There we go. Why can't we go back to the old school ways? Just have Judgment Day, Backlash, Breaking Point. I mean, just any kind of really cool names. Halloween Havoc. Hello, it's October. Halloween Havoc should be a pay-per-view. But why can't we just go back to really cool names? I don't understand. TLC, Hell in a Cell, these should not be pay-per-views. Money in the Bank, I think that should not even be called Money in the Bank. I'm fine with them having a pay-per-view annually where they have the Money in the Bank matches, but call it something else. I don't know. Ladder Championship show. I don't know. I don't know. I just find it ridiculous to call a pay-per-view after a single particular match. I don't know. That's my take on it. So we are recording this very, very late, Friday night, Saturday morning, and the reason being is all week we've had a lot of wrestling content. We had Monday Night Raw, we had Wednesday Night War with AEW and NXT, we had SmackDown on Friday with SmackDown making its debut on Fox. Now, I originally posted on Twitter, like I always do, that I'll be doing my prediction video this week, so you can send me questions and topics. That way I can do the predictions, and I can give everyone a shout-out that sends in topics and questions. However, WWE has yet, even as of now, to announce the entire card for Hell in a Cell. I know they've had their plate full with getting everything ready for the series or season premiere of Raw this week, the debut of SmackDown on Fox, AEW and NXT both on Wednesday night, and even though WWE claims we're not in competition, they are in competition, okay, no matter what you want to say. Don't even consider the ratings as the competition. You're just in the competition to put on a good show compared to your competitors, so don't try to tell us you're not. So they've had a lot on their plate this week, and therefore I think they've completely forgotten that, hey, we've only announced like 3 matches as of Friday morning. They had 3 matches announced. I looked everywhere. I Google searched, I went to Wikipedia, I went to all these different websites, went to WWE.com, and they only had 3 matches announced on their website. So this is going to be a very short prediction video. But thankfully I got a lot of questions and topics sent in, so we're going to have some other stuff to talk about. So let's get right into the predictions and knock that out, because like I said, there's only not even a handful, less than a handful. Unless you've had a really bad work experience, you got less than, a handful. Starting off, let's go in no particular order at all. Newest match, or the most recently announced match, SmackDown Women's Title match, Bayley versus Charlotte Flair. Bayley, of course, the champion. I really don't want Charlotte to win this belt, and they keep putting her back into title matches. The last time they had a match, Bayley was able to get a sneak roll-up win out of nowhere and then bolted out of the ring. It's not going to happen this time. I really think they're going to put the belt back on Charlotte, because instead of establishing newer champions, more women to be contenders for the title, they're going to go back and do the same thing they've done in the past with people like Lesnar, where they think, well, we got to have the star power. We've already made this person a multi-time champion, so yeah, we got to make her a champ again and again and again. And that's what's going to bring the ratings. It's like, well, who cares about ratings? Just put on a good show. So I want Bayley to retain the title here. I'm tired of Charlotte being in the title picture for a while. She was gone for a while. That's great. But I think she needs to have some other storylines and rivalries and feuds. Go for the tag belts. What happened to her and Lacey Evans? That would have been a great tag team. Put them together. Have them go after the women's tag belts and do some feuds with other female tag teams. Just something different. Have Charlotte go back to NXT for a little bit and compete against Shayna Baszler. Okay, we're running out of people for Baszler to finally drop that belt to. But something different. But yes, I want Bayley to retain. Next match, we've got a tag team match. Just a tag team match. Nothing else. Doesn't mean anything. It's not up for anything. No #1 contender. I'm assuming, though, if a particular team wins, they're going to be slapped into the tag title picture. Who knows? We got Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. So the Bludgeon Brothers, the Wyatt family, they're back together again. And now they're going against Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. I don't care about this match at all. I'm glad that Harper and Rowan are back together. I don't think they ever should have been split up to begin with. I think they could have been a very dominating tag team along with Bray Wyatt. I think the Wyatt family should have stayed together, but what's done is done, and we have a new character, new change to Bray Wyatt's character, so it did work out in the end for that part of the story, at least. This match I don't care for, but I see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan getting the win here. Then we have the first of two Hell in a Cell matches. First, we have the Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch defending against the returned Sasha Banks. She's been back for a while now, but of course she had a little vacation, 5-month vacation, something like that, after Mania. As much as I don't want to see Sasha get the title here, I have a feeling they're going to have Becky drop the belt. I don't know what other storylines they have planned, but I would rather see Becky Lynch retain. But I think they're going to end up moving Becky back over to SmackDown since that's the show she's supposed to be on, and she's the Raw Women's Champion. So you got to drop that belt to Sasha, who's on Raw. So I'm going to go with Sasha is going to get the win here, and I'm sure Bayley's going to come in and interfere. And that'd be great to see Bayley and Sasha both with the women's titles for the Raw and SmackDown. That'd be great. And last but not least, we have the Universal title match, also inside Hell in a Cell. Seth Rollins defending against The Fiend. I really don't like that they're calling him The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Just call him The Fiend. You know, they are two separate. It's like saying, here comes Mankind Mick Foley. No, he was either Mick Foley, he was Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, what have you. I don't like that they keep calling him The Fiend Bray Wyatt. It's not like, you know, again, like I just said, it's not like, here comes Kane, Glenn Jacobs. No, he's Kane. Other times he's Glenn Jacobs. Other times this, etc. So, who's gonna win? It's got to be The Fiend. Why do all this, all the crazy Firefly Funhouse videos and the attacks on legends and the awesome artwork and detail on the mask and everything they've invested in this? Why do all this if you're gonna have Rollins defeat The Fiend in his, technically third match, because he had one on Raw, he had one at, SummerSlam, I think, something like that. I'm losing track here, but he's had 2 matches as The Fiend. He's not going to lose his third match, especially if it's going to be the title match. So, yes, Fiend is going to win, and I've heard rumors that WWE is not very happy with the current title run that Rollins has been on, but, I mean, they kind of have to look at themselves in the mirror for that kind of blame, because Rollins is just doing whatever they tell him to do, and Rollins is a great champion heel, but babyface doesn't work. He needs to stay heel if he's a champion, especially. So I'm going to go with The Fiend, and I'm looking forward to see who they put him against after this. I'm sure they'll probably do some kind of way of doing a rematch, even though there's no guaranteed rematches anymore. I'm sure they'll do something, but I want to see The Fiend as the champ. That'd be amazing, and I want to see them do something different for other rivalries, not just against Rollins or Roman or whoever. So like I said, that's it. That's all the predictions. There's no other matches announced so far, so that's all I have to go on. So we have a 5-hour pay-per-view, and we've got 4 matches announced. We're just going to wing it at the show, so we'll have to see what they throw at us. We have no tag belt matches announced, men's or women's, so there's 3 championships right there. IC title, US title, none of those have been announced. So what's going to happen? We don't know anything else. It's crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and segue over to some news and rumors. So we had the debut show of SmackDown on Fox this past Friday night. SmackDown did a 3.869 million rating. That is a 84% increase from last week's final episode on USA, which only did a 2.09 million views. So big up on that. But of course, they're on primetime television versus cable TV, so a lot more people have access to that, so they had a better chance of getting a bigger audience. Plus, if you watched SmackDown and you watched the whole week leading up to it, you saw commercial, promo after commercial after promo. I mean, they promoted the heck out of this, and they even had a blue carpet, red carpet, but blue for SmackDown. They had a blue carpet thing at the beginning of the show, leading up to the beginning of the actual wrestling show, where they had the stars walking around the front of like Fox Studios, something like that, with some random celebrities thrown in, but they had the wrestlers all dressed in suits and whatnot, posing almost like it was a red carpet affair, but blue carpet affair. Now, talking about ratings, AEW, on their debut show, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, they did a 1.4 million views, versus NXT on that same night did 891,000 views. So a little dip in the ratings for NXT for their second week, because they did just about a little over 1 million last week. And then, hello, AEW, it's their debut show. They better put on, or they better get, more ratings or higher ratings for their debut show, because everyone's going to tune in to see, okay, let's see what you got from the start here. And honestly, I thought the show was good. I thought both shows, NXT and AEW, were good shows. I thought AEW put on a very, very good debut show, but I thought the matches in NXT on this week's episode were better. We had some really great matches. We had Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole. We had Io Shirai. We had the women's title match of Shayna Baszler against Candice LeRae. So we had some surprises. We had Finn Balor and Ciampa return. So had a lot of big surprises. Whereas AEW, the main event was a little bit underwhelming. Jericho and the Young Bucks and such. It was nice to see Jon Moxley come in at one point during the match. The women's title match was okay. I wasn't too impressed, but again, match quality, NXT definitely was superior this week. So on Thursday this week, we saw lots of rumors popping up stating that Edge had been cleared to return to the ring, and he is currently still under contract with WWE. I think maybe like a Legends contract. But however, as of this very moment, Edge had posted on Twitter saying in a statement that just read, "No, I'm not, and no, I'm not." So he's not cleared and not returning to the ring is what he's referring to. So that could squash that. DW Insider is reporting that Jeff Hardy was arrested in Moore County, North Carolina. Hardy is being charged with driving while impaired. No other details are known other than he was released from incarceration, and the investigation is ongoing. Matt Hardy posted on Twitter saying, "Since so many have asked me about my brother tonight, I love my brother and I want him to be happy and healthy. I've expressed that to him as much as I can. Jeff has to make his decisions about his life. I have to focus on my two boys and soon-to-arrive son. I can only control my actions." So, once again, Jeff Hardy, cannot get away from, as they call them, the demons. He's battled with everything from drugs, alcohol, and I mean, it's a sad tragedy waiting to happen unless he can get himself clear to that stuff. And we haven't seen, hate to bash other people, but we haven't not seen the Usos on TV in a while now. Maybe they're saving them for something else to do with the new Raw, SmackDown shows. But at the same time, we know that the Usos, well, at least Jimmy, that's Naomi's husband, right? I think that's right. No, John. Which one? I don't know. The one that's married to Naomi, okay? The Us that's married to Naomi. We know he has had a few incidents this year alone being pulled over and driving under the influence. And it's like, come on. There's so many opportunities out there now where you can get a cab, an Uber, a Lyft, whatever. There's so many things available to not be behind a wheel. Because what happens when we finally do have the news report come out that WWE superstar driving under the influence, driving impaired, has been arrested multiple times before, has, God forbid, killed somebody in a, accident, and could have been prevented by them just not getting behind the wheel after having a few cocktails. It makes you sick thinking of it. So hopefully, Jeff Hardy can get some help for that. Okay, so let's move on to some fan questions. I got lots of questions and topics sent in this week, and if you would like to get a shout out on a future episode, all you gotta do is follow me on Twitter, PopCultureJunk2. I'm always live tweeting during all the WWE live stream network specials, such as pay-per-views, takeovers, and such. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll be able to check out everything I'm tweeting during the show, and then if you want to get a shout out on a future prediction video or the recap, spoiler, and result ones, just post comments on the postings that I post, and you get a shout out. So first off, we got Kevin Haig. He asked, "Who do you think is the best heel and best face in WWE right now?" I think that's Kevin Owens. He could go either way at the drop of a hat. I mean, Kevin Owens is one of the best talkers right now. I think The Fiend is a great heel, obviously, and he's doing a really great job with the way they're doing the creepy Mr. Rogers double persona kind of thing. I love it. I think it's awesome. Another great heel that is not very popular, though, to a lot of people right now is Brock Lesnar. He's the ultimate heel. He doesn't give a rat's ass about anything. He's become the prize fighter that he was when he first came into wrestling. He never was a wrestling fan. Today, he's still not a wrestling fan. He's like, show up, pay me, and that's it. I'll do whatever you want me to do, pay me, and I'm out. And, yeah, he's a great heel. He doesn't need to be a babyface ever. He's just a heel. Who's a great face? I mean, Becky Lynch, she's doing great. And I would say Rollins is a good he's a good face when he wants to be, but they just make him come off so goofy. It's as bad as what they did with Finn Balor. Thank God Finn Balor's back at NXT, and we'll see the old Finn Balor. Kevin also asked, what is your favorite finisher ever? Stone Cold Stunner or Sweet Chin Music? Right there, easily. Still Blondie asked, what do you think of the changes done on Raw? So I know the big change was the stage, which looked like a half pipe. I sent out a tweet right at the beginning of Raw going like, hey, is Tony Hawk making his debut? Because we got a giant skateboard ramp. Now, any change to their entrance sets is a good thing, no matter what. No matter what, okay? So I'm happy they changed both Raw and SmackDown, and they look different. They both have their own unique entrances now. That could lead maybe to the pay-per-views having their own unique entrances. So we'll see maybe this Sunday, Hell in a Cell, which stage are they going to use, Raw or SmackDown, or is it going to have its own unique stage? I want to see them have their own unique entrances, okay? The Attitude Era, that was one of the greatest things, was when they had all these practical items. They didn't just have the LED screens, they had practical items surrounding the entrance of every stage, and it all looked unique. That was the fun part. That was a really fun part for me. But I know it's more costly, and it takes more production people doing things. So they could easily put a giant LED screen up for the background, and then put something different for the LED screen for each pay-per-view. Not that hard. But thanks for the question, Still Blondie. And by the way, hope you had a blast at AEW Dynamite. She was able to be at the show and was live tweeting during it. So I hope you had a great time. We got a question here from Samantha S. Will Drew McIntyre return to WWE at the pay-per-view? I don't even know if he's cleared yet. If he's cleared, that'd be great. They need to have more, surprise moments and returns and such. And we saw that this week with SmackDown. We had some interesting moments at the end after the title match. We had Cain Velasquez make his debut along with Rey Mysterio, although I'll be honest, when Mysterio's music hit, I really thought that they had just shaved Dominic's head and he was walking out with Rey. I didn't realize that was Cain Velasquez until you got closer to the ring. But yeah, they need to have more surprise returns, but save that for the shows that need it. Don't do it every episode or it's going to get stale fast. We don't want to start off the quote Wednesday Night War just like, where we were in the Attitude Era Monday Night Wars. And let's be honest, we didn't call it the Monday Night War during the Monday Night War. It wasn't until way later, after the purchase of WCW and, they went out of business and everything, that they gave it that moniker of, it was the Monday Night Wars. It's like, yeah, it was kind of like that because they were competing and whatnot. But let's be honest, WCW was kicking WWE's ass for a couple of years, so it wasn't much of a war. It was just an ass whooping. Figure Scooper asks, Orton versus Rock. Are you talking about Randy Orton versus The Rock? Because, my God, I would not want to watch that. I'd be too worried about Rock getting hurt because Orton's not the most reliable. And I don't think Rock could carry Orton, considering Rock hasn't had a solid wrestling match in, 10 years now? Something like that, or more. I don't know how long it's been now. Whenever he last really had a real match. So I would not want to see that. Edge return rumors. We just talked about that earlier, and it seems like Edge has completely debunked that. AEW beating out NXT this week. I mean, I addressed that already, but I think, yeah, it was a given. It should be the higher rated or most viewed show compared to the two, because it's the new show. If they had lost in the ratings, even though I don't think really ratings matter nowadays, considering you have so many different ways of watching content, from streaming DVRs. Most people watch DVRs, you know, because they have other things going on. There's so much other videos and shows and content out there that you're like, you know what, I gotta watch the baseball game and this show, so I'm gonna watch wrestling tomorrow morning, but I'll just DVR it. And so you can't really judge the ratings. You can't really, you know, rely on that as being the real number. But his other question is, do you think we'll get new gear from The Fiend? Are you talking about like merchandise, or are you talking about having The Fiend actually have new gear? I think the wrestling gear he has is fine. I do think they should obviously change or add to it as the character continues, but I think what he's got on now looks fine. It looks creepy and cool, and there's just a uniqueness to it. But yeah, sure, of course, just like The Undertaker. Undertaker, you know, he changed his look way before he became American Badass. He still changed his look over the years to add to it, to just keep it fresh. So yeah, sure. Josh Floberg asks, what future matches would you like to see from WWE and AEW? Well, of course I want to see Moxley and Jericho, because it would be funny to see if they can continue on. I mean, they had good chemistry in WWE, but I want to see them talk about, like, hey, you still owe me the, what was it, $10,000 check or something, I don't know, for the jacket. Don't necessarily do that, but it'd be funny to have like an Easter egg in there between them. So I know people are like, oh, you quickly want to see old WWE guys. And, oh, yeah, I want to see those guys. But, yeah, I want to see Jericho and Moxley. I want to see Moxley and Cody have a feud. That'd be awesome. I want to see more of the women that we saw in the Women's Battle Royal from All In or All Out. Nyla Rose won the Battle Royal. So I want to see more of the women that we saw in the Battle Royal have more, you know, matchups and such. WWE, what do I want to see? So hard to say because we've seen so much. They give away pretty much everything. But I would like to see more factions built and more feuds. I mean, I miss the days of when you had DX versus the Nation. You had Four Horsemen versus the Freebirds kind of stuff. Well, I could be making that up, but you know, something like that. I want to see factions versus factions, something like that. Anthony Smith asks, if you could go on a date with any two divas and any two women wrestlers, who would they be? Interesting. Okay. So divas, I guess you're going backwards. So if we're saying divas, then I'm going to say Trish Stratus and Victoria. If I could go on to, you know, a date. Women wrestlers of current day, we'll say Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose. There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for the questions. I appreciate it. And again, check me out on Twitter, PopCultureJunk2. I'll be live tweeting all during Hell in a Cell Sunday night. And then following the pay-per-view, I will be posting my spoilers, results, and recap show. And you can send me questions and topics during the show to address on the video and get a shout out there. Well, thanks as always for listening and tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, subscribe. All kinds of new content coming soon. And make sure if you haven't done so yet, you've checked out my Halloween Junkie 5 contest. That's right. 5 years now we've been doing this. And we got a great one this year. And you don't want to miss out. So make sure you participate. It's free to enter. So take advantage. Everybody have a great day, great weekend. I'll talk to y'all later. This is PCJ, the Pop Culture Junkie. Signing out.